Like the fencing fields remains to be highly contested. No adjustments being made here, other than the fact I'd say Cold and Acorn haven't quite gotten their hands dirty. Yesterday they were fighting almost immediately on the drop. We've seen them go up against the likes of Muzz and Paper early and even others, but
by Peterbot and Pollo, on the other hand, these guys love engagements anytime they can make them happen. Saucy on the run currently, but Peterbot, he's got the same amount of dashes at his disposal, but he's also got that mythic gatekeeper. The shield's already broken. Saucy still doing his best to try and escape. He's made it.
Не знаю же, где можно прокачать понимание игры и выиграть свой первый заветный эрник, рассказываю. Лучшие кастомки с призами проходят в Fnкс Customs. Там есть соло, дуо и трио кастомки. Несмотря на время выхода ролика, в Fnкс Customs кастомки проходят почти каждый день. Ссылочка в описании.
Towards his duo Frostmon, but boxed up in the middle of the river of sticks. This is not a safe position, but
that update from Kanata and Cooper right now, jumping in on TK, and the damage comes in. It's a big tag onto Kanata. Pushed down to just 30 HP here. The pressure comes in, and Bacon takes the wall, bodies TK, and it's up to Cooper now to try to clutch this one out. He does get the trade here, and he should be able to save his teammate, but has to, of course, make the edit. There it is. Bacon looking for a new angle from underneath. Cooper just holding things down right now defensively, but with the storm on the way with no white HP, I mean, at this point, Cooper might as well make the double edit here. A day one into day two, back to back, if we could call it that. I definitely would. But first, we of course have to get there. Re and Ritual sizing up the high ground here, trying to feel out the competition. They're halfway through the mats though. That'd be likely unfavorable for them.
Thanks. You factor in that 1.5 times point multiplier, 6 per elimination. So they're also another team that's fully understanding their current position. Agers, great pickup onto Dragon. Could not have come at a better time, but just too little, too late for Booga. Agers gonna have to try and close this one out on his own. Zone damage is just too much to deal with. He knows that he can't really afford to take that many more ticks of the storm, and he's gonna try to find a way out, but as soon as he goes up there on the hunt, they've got that aspect of agility. You can tell that they definitely want to find their perfect opportunity to strike, but first it's all down to Re and Ritual to just survive.
Yeah, Re and Ritual doing a great job of tarping there, but unfortunately one wall is all it took. Meanwhile, for high ground, the fight goes on, and Peterbot, just the timing onto Macwood jumping down, who was just trying to, you know, do his job and get this base solidified. All of a sudden now, it's Peterbot and Boya on high ground, and Blake is left picking up the pieces there somewhere in the mix, and honestly, he might have even been finished there. It does seem like this is going to be a huge GG for the NA market, but Agers still cooking down the low ground. This is a big game for Booga and Agers to at least put them on the standings here where we expect them to be. Meanwhile, Cold and Acorn split up from one another. 8 eliminations, and Cold sacrificed so much HP to the storm there. This is a rough spot to be in nonetheless. Yeah, look, he knows. He's like, hey, man, but we don't have anything. Take what little bit of material I have.
That's a tough break, though, for Miro and Dukes. Cold and Acorn, 10 eliminations now. Ridiculous stuff coming out of those two, but we're back to the Peterbot Pollo show is what it's looking like. They've decided to descend. Visuals and Braids doing what they can to try and buy them out, drop from that secondary height all the way to low ground, and it's Peterbot, of all people, who finds that elimination.
The story comes full circle. That is a revenge elimination. If you've been paying attention, Cole took down Pollo earlier. Peterbot claps back in the end game. So he does get the last laugh here as he continues to run away with things, because it does look like, of course, Cooper and Kanata are officially out as well. So look at that here on high ground. My oh my, this clicks an epic whale down low. Bolts and Bryce surging up the standings right now. 3 eliminations and another end game for them. Talk about a big opportunity here for them as they're working their way towards the top 3.
The moment anyone looks up, though, Clicks, he only had 6 builds. Last we checked in, Re doing what he can to try and escape from the clutches of Bolts and Bryce. Currently controlling the secondary height. They've got a quick pause. Shield potion. being utilized, but clicks again. 0 builds. It's Peterbot, though, losing practically all of his HP. Clicks didn't find that final shot. Skittles, though, his duo Trashy will make sure to get the job done. But at the same time, Trashy having lost Skittles, Peterbot still very happy at the sabotage he was able to play.
See, Trashy is bouncing back and left and right there, indecisive. What side he wants to exit out of the zone. He just sees players everywhere. This is it, though. Finally out of material. Players above him. Players coming out the storm. Bolts just gets rocked, but not before he gets the elimination credit. Meanwhile, Re and Rich on the low ground, running things to the ground here. 7 eliminations and counting now as they go for high ground. Bryce is in a battle there, and it's not going to be enough. It seems like Ritual and Re will maintain the dominant position here against the 2 solos of Booga and TK. TK eliminated. 2v1 situation. Re and Ritual managed to do it again here. Another endgame for them, and look at this. From out of the conversation to very much in this conversation now. 470 points and counting if they can get this elimination, which they likely would. Booga's on the run, but for how much longer?
Booga's got to be down to his final bit of builds, but it's just the split approach now. Booga isolated finally. Whenever they win the off spawn against School and Thoric, they're able to make some very real runs into the late game. Muzz, unfortunately, on the other side of the barrel, just scoped down and eliminated. But that's some good looks for Blake and Macwood. Another 6 points off that elimination. Better opportunities even still to make another run here. Try and get some high placement points.
6 below, the damage continuing to be an issue here. Peterbot and Boyo shredding players out the sky, you know, just doing Peterbot and Boyo things as they go for high ground now. And they have the material count to hold it here. It's a perfect executed high ground take as we're inside the zone 10, just a couple of moments now before this zone fully closes out. And look at this, they get the elimination credit onto Yumi, who just got picked up in the nick of time by Vert there. So double points likely earned for them there. Meanwhile, Pars and Baka trying to fight for top 3 too. You know, honestly, top 3 is really going to be contended for. 2nd and 3rd place is Re and Ritual have managed to put up big numbers. Kanata and Cooper here, Blake and Macwood. I mean, NA wants this global championship seat. We're seeing that play out for sure.
Yeah, but Batman, Booga, and Rapid, they're going to shut down any hopes that Baka and Pars might have had in Lobby 9. Booga and Agers found a little crevice here. A moment to try and regain their thoughts. Figure out, do we aggress the high ground? Do we just keep trying to tarp through the low instead? But it's only Cold and Acorn on secondary height that might have a real opportunity here to threaten Peterbot and Poyo up top. Instead, it's it's Ritual. Pump as well, directly behind, but Reed's gonna be the first to get knocked. Can't dance around the cone any longer. Cold credited with yet another one. 5 in total, 7 altogether. As Kanata and Cooper, no builds, but they still got the dream going here. They saw Bryce and Bolts likely falling in that elimination feed. That's a big shout for them to try and reclaim at least their spot in the top 3.
Nero down, Pump down, Reed down, Booga down. You know, everyone's just falling at this point. Ritual finally eliminated as well. Meanwhile, Kanata and Cooper just working their way through the low ground here. No material. Bunkering down between the builds. It's Cooper and Kanata down low versus Acorn and Cold. In the mid ground, it's Blake and Macwood. And I think Peterbot and Boyo have jumped in to put their interest in the mix here. 8 eliminations for Cold and Acorn in a top 3 here, Taco.
But even better still is Peterbot and Poyo's current position. They've got enough resources. Cold credited with another one. Kanata found out on this low ground, low versus height. It's gonna be the same storyline we've seen time and time again here in NA, but Peterbot and Poyo, they are definitely in the driver's seat as Acorn tries to fight back, but it's just not good enough. Poyo gonna be first one to drop down. Cold, though, has worked his way up to the high ground. He's fighting against Peterbot. He's actually knocked Peterbot. Cold could clutch this, but no.
Oh, it's Reed. He's right above him. No idea they're right underneath him. Reed and Ritual go for high ground up against Paco and Mixon. They still have Underworld dashes left. Reed has 1-2, and they are successful in the high ground take.
5 eliminations as well on Reed. And they do have the aspect of agility to share between each other. Healthy amount of builds also.
Taco, wait. We said there was a chance. We said there was a... I'm just... Like, what are we watching play out right now?
Peterbot and Pollo have got to dud the next 2 lobbies as well, though. If that chance is really going to circulate its way into the conversation. Clicks is just lost. Epic Whale. Cooper also doesn't have Kanata next to him. Could have a pick here onto Raze. Instead, he's going to slip by. Cooper is still trying to break some boxes, break some metal walls here. Recognizing the fact that he's down to his last 2 bananas, so he can at least play from the backside of zone for a little bit. Has a little bit of more healing to work with, but that final banana having just been used. Zone pull back, though.
He was really banking on it. He was really banking on the zone coming back. Finds an elimination there onto Raze as well. The quick pickup. He's got the material he was looking for. And the banana still ticking is going to heal him right back up. So Cooper's in this game. That's very, very clutch as far as the standings are concerned, because look at this. You have Skittles and Trashy stepping on his heels right now, closing in on the points threshold. There's a lot of new teams inside the top 10 right now. Finally, Clicks falls as well there as the feed starts to update. Re is still alive. He finds Cooper, though. Iamzo and Rise cooking in the mid ground and the low ground position right now. They have 7 elims, Taco. They are turning online all of a sudden, too.
But I'm just looking at that team on high. Re and Ritual are just dominating this current lobby. They are not allowing anyone to feel comfortable navigating these mid to low ground layers. More pressure just being applied, being suppressed. SMG just posing so many problems. Rise Iamzo, they're forced to just keep trying to move forward. It's Chimp they run into next, but no, behind them. Check it out, it's Reet still claiming even more points off these eliminations.
You got Trashy just sitting back like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to just use my med kits, take this top 5, and any other placement points I can squeeze out of this game right now, and things start to slow down. He's got the underworld dashes, so he shouldn't have too much of a problem getting to the safe zone. But that is the story of NA right now, as Reet is still going from his prime positioning. He has 9 elims right now, leading the charge. But don't get too ahead of yourself. That 2v1 right there could be disastrous for him. He does hit that shot, though, and little does he know, there's a player right in between them. It's Chimp, it's Scissors. They're both still standing, by the way, so anything can happen, and just like that, down goes Reet. But a win condition sitting before Ritual. Up top, Cam is going for it. Instead, he slams down. This actually might be the win opportunity for Ritual, because Cam went for the low ground teams instead. And they get granted the W.
Nah, Re and Ritual right now are just applauding watching that finalization here to Lobby 10. A victory royale, though, that they've earned. Monster, you brought it up. There is a chance. It's not a big one, but there is now a very slim opportunity here if Re and Ritual can... Siphon coin drop, though. That's a big pickup for the team that was able to claim it. Could potentially make breaking through these low ground layers all the easier if you're able to depend on that Hades coin, get that siphon working for yourself. But Golden Acorn from the low ground, Trashy Skittles, big pickups onto Sigma and Decay, who've also been a relatively impressive duo all weekend. But Trashy and Skittles, they're trying to find their monumental game. Like we already called out, they've maintained top 25 throughout the entirety of this weekend so far, but they're going to need more than just top 25. They're going to need top 5, if not a win, to really try and pose a threat to the top 3 in the leaderboard.
Trashy and Skittles coming out the edge of the storm here, looking up for high ground. This could give everyone else the opportunity they're looking for, and that everyone else I'm talking about is Peterbot and Pollo. They were right there, second height, waiting to pounce, and you can see it works out as Peterbot secures a loop, but someone lands on top of him, and down goes Peterbot. Pollo now left to fend for high ground by himself. There's a lot of solos here. No one's looking up to challenge Pollo just yet, and the longer this game goes on, the more they get to break away with the points threshold to close out this grand finals games here. But Bryson Bolt still on the run right now. This is a good medkit play here to try to squeeze out placement points here. They are neck and neck tied with Acorn and Cold, essentially, as far as points are concerned. And Pollo from high ground gives it up to jump down and go for what was likely Peterbot's loot here. or someone else's, but he recognized there was heals and something to play for.
Well, we saw Pollo on the high ground. He only had like 6 or so builds left over. It's probably a big part of the reason why we saw Peterbot, who had split apart from the high ground, to drop for low, try and grab that refresh. Chubbs and Aviv just punishing him for it immediately. But Pollo, we saw the clutch in day 1. Can he have a repeat in day 2? Big tags onto Edgy from behind. Never saw it coming. The Underworld dashes just making Pollo so silent but easy to execute on these eliminations, on these knocks, potentially. Pollo, though, maybe I spoke a little bit too soon here. She gets snuffed out of the lobby entirely, doesn't get a chance to bring this one back.
Look who's in the top 5. Make it Blake and Macwood, another top 5. You know, if they could just get off the drop, they have been one of the most impressive duos we've seen this weekend. Meanwhile, Oliver OG Larson, the upsetters, the team that effectively took down Reet and Ritual, making the best out of this game with a 3rd place performance so far and still fighting for more now. Aviv and Chubbs, though, have the high ground here, looking for 2 angles. They're the healthiest in the lobby right now. This should be their game to win, Taco.
They already put themselves in a great position. Aviv gonna drop momentarily off that last elimination. Onto Braid, finds another one immediately. The mid.
You can see Bolt and Bryce struggling right now. The damage setting them back for a second, and meanwhile, your FNCS Grand Finals champions are here. Peterbot, Pollo with a victory lap in motion right now. Take a look. Still lighting up the lobby, still fighting and breaking those point records. They're trying to close this one out with a ribbon finish.
Do you see how gnarly that setup is, though, from all of these teams? Just varying levels of elevation, multiple boxes built along the side of this mountain face. Aviv and Chubbs, they're trying to navigate their way through. The mid-ground layers are just so scuffy to work with right now, though. Kanata also trying to claim some space of his own, taking more towards the low ground as is. Running relatively low on builds. Might get an opportunity here. A couple of tags applied. Saucy getting lit up currently. Saucy not. That's a big shot. Kanata and Cooper might get the benefits. It's Yasir who actually got the credits, but no, Yasir and Krizik, they're able to close in first. Kanata, Cooper, left with nothing. They might be able to cut them off, though. Krizik still trying to work his way up. The zone pulls back. Kanata now with Cooper. A little bit stuck, but still managing to make it work.
Yeah, they've already set the trap. Dashes past, and a huge monster shot onto Breeze there. Just claiming more and more points here at the very, very end. As we already know, they have a chance to fight for more cash money. Cash prize is what's on the line here for everyone who is still looking to claw their way past their opponents. Meanwhile, Peterbot actually finds Cooper, but Trashy getting mixy here in this. This is just a face dive off the cliff right here. If you want to stay in the zone right now, Peterbot's up top. They're trying to win this game here, slowly working their way up. They have the material count as well here. There goes the coin swap. Here comes the Flowberry Fizz.
Even if they didn't have the material count, the fact that they had that aspect of agility alone, when you're dealing with a zone that is just pulling back and forth over these differing levels of elevation, so much easier for Peterbot and Pollo to just hyper-fixate on how they want to play this game. They have the luxury of not having to expend that many materials. Kanata, meanwhile, he just finds another small moment to breathe. Picks up a little bit of materials, trying to just keep it moving, jumping every which way. Doesn't want to get found out just yet. Every single point counts to maintain that 3rd place spot.
Peterbot and Pollo break the builds from underneath Rapid, and they have the high ground. They were just waiting to seize the moment, and once again, they do it perfectly executed here in zone number 10. They have just been the best team, not only on the day, today, yesterday, but this entire season. It has really been the Peterbot and Pollo show, and you got to give respects to Both of these players, they've just kept up such a ridiculous pace over the lobby. Meanwhile, Golden Acorn, okay. Seeing them in the 619-point area now. 8 eliminations here. Makes you wonder if they just had an even slightly better day one. Golden Acorn could be contesting for that first place finish right now, but that's gonna have to happen a different day.
Look, we could talk about Acorn and Cold and how they pick things up here in game 2, but Peterbot and Pollo, they've got over 1,000 points, MDF. Forget about records. This is FNCS history that we are witnessing with these two titans in NA currently, and they are just keeping the ball rolling. Rise next on the charts. Peterbot trying to just attach even more eliminations for the individual record he's already set here today in NA, along with the points title. Pollo still hanging out way up above the clouds, top of the mountain, letting Peterbot do whatever he wants to. And these layers underneath, dropping to the low ground. Rapid Batman Booga next in his sights.
That's what's impressive about this. Peterbot is down here literally 2v1ing, fighting everyone, while Pollo's like, hey man, I'll make sure I lock in the win. You go do your thing and hurt the lobby, make it impossible for them to stay alive at this point. And Pollo's got his win conditions. He's got the heals to work with. Peterbot slowly, surely, methodically working his way down. Every time he finds 2 players, though, he does start to ease up on the gas pedal and play a little bit more passively. It's not just reckless keying at this point. It's all smart play. The reads are so good right there. And we talked about what he was capable of. And he does it again.
The moment that we saw Peterbot and Pollo claiming the high ground here in Game 12, that was all the foreshadowing that we needed, MDF, to know exactly what would happen next. One more victory royale to attach to their grand finals run here in Major 2. What a way to conclude match number 12.
A fitting finish here for Peterbot and Pollo to take a victory royale in the final game to undisputably solidify their grand finals win here today. Let's just take a look at the highlight. It truly has been all them here today, putting up the performance that we all expected, leading in with the momentum and never looking back. You see the wide shot there. Look at that shot from Peterbot, and then the assistance from up top. It was just effortlessly and perfectly played for Peterbot and Pollo. Congratulations on the Game 12 win, and congratulations on another Grand Finals championship under your belt. They just locked this season all up.
Who have punched their ticket. Reet and Ritual, and of course, Kanata and Cooper. They started the day strong, and they held on. They said, you know what? I'm just gonna sit down in the seat temporarily. You know what? I'm just gonna make sure it's my seat. I'm not getting off this bus, Zeke. And at the end of the day, they've
every single duo here and all the duos that have competed today should be so proud of themselves to go from tens of thousands of duos to making it through the qualifiers to going through the gauntlet of the semifinals and to find themselves here to prove themselves the best of the region. They deserve all the praise, and